Hello, we are Shanoa and Montell from Att10tive. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get your opponent into checkmate.
Thank you, Mama. First of all, the worst moves in chess that anybody can do. Now, you probably hear in chess that some people get checkmated in a few moves. One reason is they do what is called the cardinal sin of chess, and that's moving either the A, B, or G or H pawns forward to. So if that moves to here, or to here, or to here, or to here, they will very easily get beaten. You'll see your opponent making those moves, and it's not long before you are able to checkmate your opponent and beat your opponent pretty quickly. The strongest moves you can do is move either the queen pawn or the king pawn forward 2. You can move it 1 and then move the other one 2 if you want to. Or you can move one of them 2 and then move either the bishop's pawn forward as what's called a gambit. And I'll talk to you more about gambits later on. But let's get into it. So first of all, a strong opening is queen pawn, countered with another queen pawn. Then I'm doing a gambit straight away. I'm offering a white pawn for free. So it looks like I can't be taken. The reason why is I want to try to control these squares over here. The one that's out of the way, and I can deal with that black pawn later on. I now bring up my bishop, which is attacking this square over here. So later on, I will be able to put pressure over here on this square. Black now wants to bring up this bishop, so he moves out this pawn. Moving the king's pawns forward is always quite a strong move. Now the knight comes out, and it's white's move. White brings out its knight. So at this position, what do you think your strongest move for black would be, Shanoa? So do you think
Now,
that
I am not a chess master, obviously, but I'd say the strongest move perhaps would be to get your bishop in f8 and move it down probably to somewhere like a4.
A4? A3,
oh, sorry, a3, yeah.
If you move on to A3, you'll be taken by the pawn.
Oh, so you would. See, there we go. This is why I'm learning as well.
Okay. So the strongest move would be to move it. You're right in saying about the bishop.
Yeah.
But you move it to B4.
Oh, yes. And then you could, yeah. Okay.
So what you're doing on B4 is you are threatening to take the knight. Now the knight is unable to move because if it did, bishop will be attacking the king, and that's called check.
Yeah. So the knight cannot move anymore, and you've stuck him there because if he does move, then you're calling checks straight away.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's pinned.
Yes. So that is called a pin, as you quite rightly identify. So in terms of, because my knight's been pinned, I've got a choice. I can either defend it with the king and knight, which I chose to do, or I can leave it there, and then you can be taken by the pawn if you were to take me. That's worth half a point more, so maybe I might leave it there. But I chose in this case to move a knight. The reason why I chose to use a knight is because I want to develop my pieces. Now, black has chosen to bring up its knight. Now, this knight from here can't move here because it'll be taken by the pawn. That square is occupied by the bishop. It can only move to here. And then from here, it can't really threaten anything. So I'm not bothered with that knight coming out. And I actually don't think that's a very strong place for the knight to come. Now, I move here to force the bishop to either take or to move back. In this occasion, the bishop has retreated. I now move out the king's pawn forward 1, and if you notice, it's in a little triangle, so they're all defending each other, and it's also defending the bishop. Right. I'm aware that the knight can move down here, but it'll be taken by my knight, or it can move over here, If it's moved over here, then it's quite free. So here, I'm not guarded against that movement. So the knight does decide to move down here on this occasion. I move my bishop out so that I'm able to castle on my next move. Black decides to castle to put his king into the corner. I decide to castle as well. So the bishop can then move down here to threaten the pawn. Then what you normally see is you don't, this is called a sacrifice. And the sacrifice is enabling the pawn to take the bishop. Now, if I just rewind, would you do that, Shanoa, or not?
Probably not, because I'm new, and you know that the bishop is worth a lot more points than the pawn. But obviously, if you're sacrificing a piece, then you're either going into a gambit and trying to force it into that to open a move for yourself, or it just puts you in a better position, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. So here, what a strong chess player would do is normally, this is a very solid defense, isn't it? It's even more solid than that because you've got these pieces further protecting it. So the reason why a sacrifice can be very important and strong players do sacrifice is because of this. The bishop comes down, 9 players out of 10 would take. What's behind the bishop was the queen. Now the queen can move on a diagonal line. Queen takes.
Oh, there we go.
Now because the queen is taken, black king is trapped in the corner because he can't move because all these players are in the way. And they can't take the queen. So they've surrendered. They can't do anything else. And then bang, checkmate. They've lost.
Yeah, so it's all about planning ahead, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Once you know the moves and you know the pawns, you can plan ahead a few steps. And if everything works out well, then it can go to your advantage.
Absolutely. So the what you mentioned at the very beginning was about planning ahead, think about your choices, occasionally doing a sacrifice, doing a gambit, thinking about what your opponent can do, remembering that, yeah, you can get your king and their king into the corner, but when you get your kings into the corner, you can actually win a game, okay? So that could be checkmate by getting your queen down here. Now, one of the things that black didn't consider in this game, which is why I wanted to show this, is the reason for that square being there. If I just come back a bit, I moved the bishop to there. Now, I could have left the bishop down here, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Because it's attacking that square. But you know what else it's doing? It's defending this square.
Oh, yeah. So it is really all for planning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forward planning, absolutely. So what you're doing is you're thinking about how you can attack the opponent's piece. So even with this sacrifice, okay, in this occasion, if that move there, recognizing that the bishop here is actually guarding that. Now, if I would have done this move, instead of moving that to there, I moved the bishop to say there, okay? Then it would have been checkmate because this square wouldn't have been defended. So it looks like it's a bad move. Now, what you could have done is, obviously, the pawn here can take the bishop, and it opens the king to attack. Okay, so I just wanted to show you here how a opening game could play out. And what we will be doing next is looking for another opening to either checkmate or to how one move different can avoid checkmate. So that's the end of the next tutorial video.
Thank you.